Lily, when are you coming here for Christmas?
Good evening, Evelyn. I'm planning to come on December 24th, sometime around 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Oh, I see. But can't you come a little earlier? There's so much to do at the end of the year. Even though you're my younger son's wife, you still need to take responsibility for your role as the first son's wife, especially since Sam is still single. You can't expect to relax just because it's still 2 months away. This is a time-sensitive matter. You should have been planning ahead.
I'm sorry, Evelyn. My last day working is on the 23rd. That day is the official end of the year for my company, and I also have to finish up some handovers for my team.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot that you're retiring at the end of the year.
Yes, that's correct. The retirement process has taken up a lot of my time, so I won't be able to arrive earlier. That's why I'll come home on the 24th, so I hope you can understand and bear with me.
Well, I'll let it slide this time. However, I'm still curious. Does this mean Jacob is coming home before you? His company always finishes up on the 22nd, right?
Did Jacob not tell you about that?
What do you mean?
Jacob got a transfer order and his work schedule has changed. He's been caught up with the preparations for the move, and unfortunately it's affecting his plans for the end of the year.
Oh, really? That's rather sudden.
Yes. Apparently a vacancy opened up in a very important position at his new posting, and Jacob was selected to fill that role. He's been frantically preparing to take over and complete all the handovers before the year ends. He's really swamped with work right now.
An important position? Oh, that sounds like a promotion. So did he get a raise in his salary as well?
Yes, exactly. He did get a promotion, which means his responsibilities have increased significantly. His salary should also have gone up to reflect the new role.
So with this promotion, his salary has increased as well? Oh, you must be very proud of him.
Yes, definitely. But to be honest, the reason you haven't heard from Jacob yet is probably because he's been so busy. He's trying to juggle everything at once, and I think he hasn't had the time or energy to contact you, especially with the move and the new position. That's why he won't be able to make it back this time.
Oh my, I see. Well, that's excellent news. With Jacob's promotion, not only will Sam's future be more secure, but our retirement plans are looking even better. It seems like everything is falling into place for us. I'm glad to hear that Jacob is doing well professionally. As for his delay in notifying me, I'll overlook it just this once.
Thank you for your understanding.
But you should still remember that there are things left for you to take care of. Don't think I've forgotten about the tasks you're supposed to complete. I don't want to hear any excuses about running out of time or leaving things unfinished when Christmas Day arrives, okay?
I understand. I'll make sure everything is done. Could you kindly remind me again of the tasks assigned to me?
Of course. First, you need to clean all the rooms on the second floor. Then you need to clean around the kitchen sink area, the bathroom, and the toilet. Afterward, you'll be responsible for preparing dinner for the family.
Got it. I will make sure to come early on the 24th to get everything in order. I'll make sure to get started right away so everything is ready for the Christmas day.
That's what I expect. Don't make excuses about not having enough time. You know how busy things can get around the holidays, so you need to manage your time well. It's important to have everything ready, especially since the family will be here to celebrate. I'm sure Jacob will appreciate the effort.
I completely understand. I'll be sure to stay on top of things. It's just that with the retirement and everything, I feel a bit overwhelmed at times, but I will manage. I won't let anything fall through the cracks.
Well, I understand that you've been going through a lot with the retirement, but this is something that has to be done. You know how important it is to keep up the family traditions, and Jacob's promotion just adds more to the significance of this year's holiday. We want to celebrate properly, so everything must be perfect.
Yes, I completely agree. I will do my best to ensure everything is done well so that the family can enjoy the Christmas together. It's an important time, and I want to make sure everyone is happy.
That's the right attitude. I'm glad you understand. But you also need to remember that the tasks I've assigned to you should be completed with care. This is a time to show your dedication to the family, and your role is part of it. Even if you're retiring, you still have responsibilities, and I expect them to be taken seriously.
Of course I take my responsibilities seriously. I won't let anyone down, especially not Jacob and the family. I understand the importance of Christmas time, and I want everything to be perfect.
I'm glad to hear that. We'll need all hands on deck to make this a memorable and successful holiday. It's not just about the cleaning and cooking, it's about the spirit of togetherness and honoring Jesus' birth. So make sure to give it your all.
Thank you, Evelyn. I will definitely give it my all. I want to contribute as much as I can to making this holiday special for everyone. I'll make sure the house is spotless, the meals are delicious, and that everything goes smoothly.
Good. I'm sure Jacob will appreciate everything you do, and he'll be proud of how well everything turns out. I know he's been under a lot of pressure with his new position, but with your help, we'll make sure this holiday is one to remember. I'm counting on you, Lily.
Thank you for trusting me, Evelyn. I won't let you down.
Lily! When I woke up, you were already gone. Where on earth are you wandering around so early in the morning? You were supposed to stay home, Lily. Come back right now.
Merry Christmas, Evelyn.
What are you talking about? You left everything half-finished without completing what I asked you to do.
I finished everything you asked me to do.
No, you didn't. You didn't make dinner.
Did you not check the plastic box I left for you?
What are you saying? You've been in the kitchen cooking? The only thing I saw was you preparing yesterday's meal and making the cake.
The dinner is already in the refrigerator.
What? In the refrigerator?
I realized that doing everything on the 24th would be too much, so I decided to make the meal at my house and bring it over instead.
I checked the refrigerator just now. Lily, do you think this is enough food?
What do you mean? I thought it would be enough. It's enough for 3 people, right?
What? What are you talking about? It's Christmas with 5 people. There's me, my husband, Sam, Jacob, and you. That's 5 people. Well, if you and Jacob aren't coming, I guess it's fine. Oh, right. When is Jacob coming back for the holidays? He has to give Sam his Christmas gift again, you know. I think $2,000 should be appropriate. When he comes here, whether in cash or through a transfer, I expect $2,000. You should let Jacob know. Also, my husband and I were planning a resort trip next month, and we could use about $1,000 for that.
Jacob won't be able to come home this year.
What? Why?
As I mentioned earlier, his work transfer and handover duties are keeping him busy at the end of the year.
Oh, I see. By the way, you've quit your job, so I assume you're receiving a retirement payout?
Yes, I am.
In that case, you should give Sam $2,000 this year as well. And of course, the $1,000 for our trip. Actually, maybe you should give us more, considering everything that's been going on.
Why is that?
Ever since you've been with Jacob, he's become hesitant to spend money. You've disrespected both his parents, especially Sam, who's the older brother. It's only natural for us to expect something from you, especially since you're now part of this family. Let's see, I'll double the amount I mentioned earlier. So now you need to give us a total of $6,000.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time for this right now.
Lily, listen. I know it's only been 2 months since you got married, so you might not feel it yet, but you are now a part of this family. You need to prioritize the things we ask of you. Anyway, I can't have a proper conversation through messages, so come back here quickly. Oh, and I just remembered, we're out of bread. You should buy some while you're at it.
Excuse me, but...
What is it? If you're about to make excuses, I don't want to hear it.
No, that's not it. Has Jacob not contacted you yet?
What are you talking about?
Jacob is overseas.
Overseas? Is he on a business trip or something?
No, it's not that. As I mentioned before, his transfer involves a branch overseas.
What?
The vice branch manager at the overseas office had to return for family reasons, and Jacob was asked to step in as a replacement. He's been there since mid-December for the handover process.
What? I didn't know anything about this.
Oh, I see. I assumed Jacob had already told you. I should have been the one to inform you properly. My apologies.
What's going on? So Jacob is overseas now for work? You should have told me all the details about this. Come back right now. How many times do I have to tell you this? You clearly don't understand your role as a wife. If Jacob's staying overseas, then it's settled. Lily, you should move in with us now. I'll make sure to properly train you in your duties as a wife. You'll undergo some strict lessons, so get ready for that.
Evelyn, excuse me?
What is it now?
I'm sorry to interrupt your excitement, but I'm not coming back to your place.
What?
I'm at the airport right now.
The airport? Are you planning to spend Christmas with Jacob?
No, not exactly. I'm heading to his new home overseas to be with him.
What? What do you mean?
As I said, I'll be living with Jacob overseas.
What do you mean? I haven't heard anything about this.
I assumed Jacob had already informed you, but I'm sorry if that wasn't the case. However, I can't change my plans now.
Wait a minute, you suddenly quit your job because of this?
Yes, because Jacob's transfer was suddenly decided. Considering our future and the possibility of having children, we thought it would be better for both of us to go together rather than for Jacob to be sent alone. That's how we decided to do it.
How long will you be staying overseas?
Well, Jacob's being considered for a future position as the company president, so it seems like it'll be permanent in the future. I'm expecting it to be a permanent move.
Wait, what about Sam? Who's going to take care of us in our old age?
What? Your old age? Isn't that Sam's responsibility as the older son?
But Sam isn't working, is he? It would be cruel to make him work at 36 years old. So we planned to have you and Jacob take care of us in our old age. That's the plan, right?
I'm sorry, I have to turn off my phone for the international flight, so I have to go now.
Wait, hold on. Don't go. Lily, please don't do this to me.
I'm sorry, Evelyn, but my mind is made up. This decision has been in the works for a while, and it's something Jacob and I have discussed thoroughly. I can't keep pretending that I can live my life under your rules. This is about our future, and I need to stand by him now.
But what about us, Lily? What about the family? You can't just leave everything behind. Sam, my husband, and I have been here for you.
I understand that, but this isn't about abandoning you. I'm not turning my back on you. Jacob and I have to build our life together. You know how hard it's been for him to be away from home for this long. This is a huge opportunity for us, and I can't pass it up. I know it's hard for you to understand, but I have to live my own life now, Evelyn.
But we're family, Lily. We take care of each other. You can't just leave Sam here, especially now that he's getting older. And what about me? Who will take care of me in my old age?
You've always had Sam, Evelyn. He's the one who's been there for you, but I can't just stay behind out of obligation. Sam is a grown man now, and it's his responsibility to figure out his own life. As for you, I'll still care for you, I promise. But Jacob and I have our own life to build, and we can't keep putting everything on hold for others. Now, I really have to go. The flight attendant just told me to put my phone into airplane mode, so goodbye.
Lily, please don't go. Lily!
After that, things took a turn with my in-laws. My mother-in-law and the rest of the family, having lost their source of financial support in Jacob, went to his company to demand that his overseas assignment be canceled immediately. They went in person to confront the company, demanding that they pull the plug on Jacob's assignment abroad. Naturally, they were met with cold indifference and turned away at the door. The company was not interested in their requests and made it clear that they would not entertain such demands. It was a humiliating experience for them, but they were not deterred. Even though they were rejected, they continued to make a scene, causing enough of a disruption that the authorities were eventually called. From what I heard, the police had to intervene, and they were taken away. It was a clear indication that they had overstepped their bounds in their attempt to control Jacob's life. Jacob, my husband, was the second son in his family. In Japan, it's common for the second son to be treated as the family member who's expected to care for the parents, often taking on a role of financial support, especially in families where the firstborn son is already responsible for the family business or other matters. Jacob, unfortunately, had been raised as what is sometimes referred to as a sacrificial child. This means he was expected to give up his own independence and needs to serve his family's demands. For many years, Jacob had been nothing more than a puppet in his family's hands. He followed their orders without question, dutifully handing over money whenever they asked, convinced that this was simply what was expected of him as their son. He had been living his life under their thumb, trying to keep the peace and fulfill the role they had imposed on him. But despite the fact that he was constantly providing for them, it never seemed to be enough. There were always more demands, always more expectations. I knew it was hard for him to break away from their influence. He had grown up believing that his happiness wasn't as important as meeting his family's expectations. But I knew there was more to him than the role they had assigned him. I kept telling him over and over again that it didn't have to be this way. He didn't have to live a life dictated by others. He had the right to be free, to make his own choices, and to live for himself. I repeatedly reassured him that he didn't need to live as a slave to their wishes and that he deserved to lead his own life on his own terms. But breaking free from that mental and emotional conditioning wasn't easy. It took time, but little by little, Jacob began to understand that he had the right to say no, to stand up for himself, and to create a life that was truly his own. Then the opportunity for an overseas assignment came up. It was something Jacob had always dreamed of, but had never been able to pursue because his family's demands had always come first. However, with the push of encouragement from me and his growing realization that he deserved more, Jacob saw this as a chance to cut the final ties with his family. It was the perfect opportunity to leave behind the stifling grip of his parents and create a life where he and I could live without the constant pressure of their expectations. The timing couldn't have been better. The overseas assignment was the catalyst that allowed Jacob to break away from the toxic cycle that had defined his relationship with his family. Just as the new year began, Jacob made the decision to sever ties with his in-laws once and for all. We moved forward with our lives, leaving behind the emotional and financial burdens they had placed on him. Since then, we've been living a much more peaceful and stress-free life abroad. We've settled into a routine, and Jacob is starting to adjust to his new life, one that is far removed from the constant pressure he faced at home. We found a balance that works for us, and every day feels like a new chapter. We're able to focus on each other and our future together without the constant interference of family obligations and demands. The weight that had been on Jacob's shoulders for so many years has finally started to lift. He's no longer the person he once was, a puppet bound to his family's whims. Instead, he's free to be himself, free to make his own decisions, and free to live the life he and I have always dreamed of. Living abroad has allowed us both to grow, both individually and as a couple. We've been able to step out of the shadow of his family and build our own life without constantly looking over our shoulders. There are still moments when we reflect on the past, but we don't let it define us. We've learned from our experiences, and we've built a future where we can be happy and stress-free, enjoying the peace that comes with true independence. We're finally able to enjoy each day without fear of the next phone call or visit from his family. It feels like a fresh start, and we're embracing it all. We found a new rhythm, one where we can live for ourselves, make our own decisions, and continue to grow as individuals and as a couple. Our life abroad has become everything we hoped for, peaceful, fulfilling, and full of possibilities.